Radhe Krishna Radhe, Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe, Radhe Krishna Radhe Krishna Radhe Krishna Radhe,
Puruṣhottam Yoga, verse 13. Gamavishya cha bhutani dharayamyah mojasa pushpami chaushadhi sarva somo bhutva rasatmakah. Translation: permeating the earth, I nourish all living beings with my energy. Becoming the moon, I nourish all plants with the juice of life. So Gam means the earth, Ojas means energy. Shree Krishna says, through the earth I am nourishing all living beings. There is a tremendous cycle that is going on in creation. The earth transforms itself into plants. We consume the plants in our body. The food is converted from ras to rak to mans to meda to haddi to majja to virya. This whole body is a derivative of mud. And finally, when the soul departs, the body again goes back to mud. It can have only 3 ends based on a person's culture. Some people, they burn the body before everyone's eyes. It transforms into ashes and becomes mud. Some people bury the body. Now you may put a board out there, here lies so and so, but the fact is, very soon that body has turned into mud. Some people throw the body into the river, and the creatures of the water come and consume it and make it their excreta. In any case, the body goes back to mud. And yet, although it is mud, it possesses such miraculous properties. If we pay attention to just one aspect of creation, we'll see the miracle of God unfolding there. Francis Collins, until a few years ago, was the director of the National Institute of Health. In the 1990s, he was heading an international team of scientists who were for the first time striving to decode the human DNA. So this was the first genome project. And finally, when they succeeded, he took the stage along with the then President of the United States, Bill Clinton, to announce to the world that the DNA had been decoded. Subsequent to that, he wrote a book, Language of God. He said, now that we have understood the DNA, there should be no further need to believe in God. However, my faith in the Supreme and the intelligent design theory has only increased further. Because the DNA is so complex. It has got so much of information packed in it. If you started putting down the information on A4 size sheets. They would stack up to the height of the Washington Monument. That much of information in one DNA of one of your 37 trillion cells. Besides that, the cell has got the RNA and so many, it's a universe in itself. And if you wanted to start speaking out the information of the DNA at the rate of 3 syllables a second, you would keep speaking for 31 years. So Francis Collins, he says that this DNA could not be the consequence of a Big Bang. In fact, I would say even the COVID, any virus, if you think about it, it's such a complex code. How did it come into existence? So the miracles of God are all over. Now the missing thing in science is the assumption that there is no God. It's an assumption. The scientist will say, I don't believe in God until you prove it to me. And my counter is, can you prove there is no God? Mr. Scientist, can you prove there is no God? This cannot be proved until you know everything in the universe, or the one thing you know may be God. So either way you're taking a leap of faith, the leap on this side just seems so much more logical. Now just take a look at the astonishing, the biodiversity that exists. Now scientists realize it is so sensitive that you subtract one of the species and the whole ecosystem collapses. Somehow they are all interconnected. They all have their role to play. Even the earthworm, which apparently seems to be a stupid creature without much of a brain and so ugly in its shape, but they realize the earthworm is also making the soil organic, fertilizing it, breaking down the earth and contributing to the ecosystem. Now, we human beings, we breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. The plants do the reverse. You can say, how did it happen? By chance. By chance, it's more commonsensical to believe that there is a creator behind it. It is like that geography teacher who told the students that the world came into existence by a big bang, an uncontrolled explosion, and he gave them a homework. You make a map of the planet Earth and bring it. So one of the students had been coming to the LTP program. He took a sheet of paper, scribbled some lines, threw some random colors, and he slipped his assignment in the stack in front of the teacher's desk. When the teacher started grading 6 on 10, 8 on 10 until he came to that scrap of paper, and that annoyed him, he said, "Who made this?" The whole class was silent. He said, "Speak up or I'll punish all of you." Now the boy got up. He said, "Sir, in my opinion, nobody made it." "What do you mean nobody made it?" "I mean the paper flew and fell on your desk. And by chance a pencil flew and some lines got scratched. And again by chance some colors came and fell down." The teacher said, "Badmash, definitely somebody has made it, and it seems you are the boy who has made it." The boy said, "Sir, you are not willing to believe that a third-class map of the world can be made by itself. It goes against your common sense, and you want me to believe the actual thing has been made by itself. So, Shree Krishna is saying, look, I am causing this entire miraculous creation to sustain life. Otherwise, it would have collapsed. There's a joke we used to say 30, 40 years ago. Of course, India has grown way beyond that now. One Westerner went to India. He traveled around the country for 6 months. And then he said, now I believe in God. Without God, this country could not run. So without God, the whole world could not run. The Shree Krishna says, Arjun, look, I am the energy in the earth, the oj. And I am also the energy in your body. If I withdraw the energy, then what's going to happen? When God made the world, it's a joke. A few angels stood and started giving expert commentary. One asked, how much did this cost you, God? The second said, what is the material that you used? The third said, did you take all the legal permissions? The fourth said, why did you make it? The fifth looked in awe and wonder at the world. The one who said, how much did it cost you, was a real estate agent. The one who said, do you have permissions, was the lawyer. The one who said, what materials did you use, was the engineer. The one who said, why did you make it, was the philosopher. And the one who said, wow, was the mystic who was amazed at the glory that he saw all over in creation. I am reminded of one lady who went mountain climbing in the Rockies. Now, in mountain climbing, what they do is that they have a rope and they climb the cliff side. And there's a road coming up from the other side. So once you've climbed, you take a car and you drive down. Now, one of these mountain climbers, as she was right on the top, leaving the rope and coming onto the plane, her contact lens got knocked off. And there was 150 feet fall below. So she said, how will I ever find it? But she said, God, you are everywhere. You know where it is. If you wish, I will get it back. Now they drove down. Another group of mountain climbers was about to take off. One of them said, has any of you dropped a contact lens? She said, yes, I did. She said, how did you find it? He said, I saw an ant carrying the contact lens. And that is why it caught my attention. So I picked it out from the ant and I'm announcing it. That lady, she went and told her father about what had happened. The father was a cartoonist. So he drew a cartoon of the ant carrying the contact lens. And below he wrote the caption, oh God, this is a heavy burden. And I don't know why I'm carrying it. But because it suits your purpose, I am carrying it. You do whatever you want with this. So these are the miracles that are all around us. And Shree Krishna says, look, Arjun, you just need to think a little deeply and you will come to these conclusions. Now, in the case of the saints, these miracles are all around. If you start surrendering to God, you will experience these miracles for yourself. God's grace will unfold, will manifest in your life in miraculous ways, like it has manifested in the lives of the saints. We have heard thousands of stories of the miracles in the lives of saints. Just to savor one, in the year 1608, Sant Tukaram was born in a little town, Dehu, by the bank of the river Indrayani in today's state of Maharashtra. His parents, Bolhoba and Kankara More, were priests at the Pandharpur temple. And he grew up in poverty but in a pious environment. His father passed away and the burden of the business fell upon him. But then there was a huge famine in the land and his elder brother took sannyas. And his wife and son died. So his business collapsed. Tukaram, he went to the nearby hill Brahmagiri and spent 15 days there in austerity. He describes that scorpions would be around. They would even come and bite him, and snakes would also wander around. But he persisted. And after 15 days, Vitthal Bhagavan, the presiding deity of the Pandharpur temple, actually manifested before him and instructed him to propagate bhakti and write and sing his bhajans. So he returned and he started writing bhajans, which are exceedingly famous in Maharashtra today. They are his abhangas, and he's written 4,000 of them. However, some of the priests out there got extremely annoyed. When they read his bhajans, they said that he has got the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita that he is describing in lay language. How dare he do that? That is supposed to be our hegemony. One of them was Rameshwar Bhatt. He said, "Why are you transgressing the rules of the scriptures?" So Tukaram said, "Bhagavan wants me to write and I am writing." Rameshwar Bhatt said, "What is the proof that Bhagavan wants you to write? If it is by the will of God, your bhajans are divine. And if they are divine, we throw them into the river. Nothing should happen to them." Now Tukaram was shaken by this challenge bestowed on this so-called scholar. Tukaram said, "All right, try it out." They took all his bhajans, made a bundle of them and threw them into the Indrayani river. Now Tukaram sat crying, "My Lord, did I make a mistake? I was only singing your bhajans. Were they not pleasing to you? What is this that happened to me?" So after 15 days, that bundle was discovered by somebody, and he brought it and gave it to Tukaram. Tukaram took it as the will of God that the bhajans have come back. And Rameshwar Bhatt, who had issued the challenge, he also got convinced. And later on, he became a devotee of Tukaram. So the point is that the miracle of God is not only in the world, it can be in your life as well. We have the meet and greet. So many people come and tell me, "Swamiji, how astonishing that I happen to connect. How astonishing that I happen to be here." Well, you see, the thing is that God, He's going to tell in the subsequent shlok, is sitting in your heart. And He knows your readiness. And when you are ready for it, He arranges for the path by inspiring you from inside. So, Shree Krishna says, "Look, I am the source of life in all things." Let's move ahead.